Alan, you saw 1001.
Yes. So this is a focus feature drama written and directed by A.V. Rockwell. It's a story of we'll get big. It's the story of Inez de la Paz, played by Tiana Taylor. So she's a woman, single mother who was just released from prison. Her son Terry is in foster care. While in foster care, Terry gets injured and winds up in the hospital. And it's at that point that Inez decides to kidnap him, flee to Brooklyn, and then just kind of hide out and raise her son on her own. And so she gets new papers, new social security cards, new identity for them, and they live this life. And a couple of years later, she meets a guy called Lucky, or she's known a guy Lucky. They kind of were in the wrong circles together, and they wind up getting married. And then Lucky kind of adopts Terry as his own, and then they become this family. So the way I would describe it is this is the life of Terry from about 6 years old all the way up until he's 18. And it's a story about this highly dysfunctional family. Inez has been hardened by her life so much that she demands so much from the men in her life, from Lucky and from Terry. And Terry is just kind of figuring out his life on his own. But he is so overwhelmed by his controlling mother that there are times where he just kind of resists it. And then things just kind of go from bad to worse for the family. At one point, the building she lives in has been bought and is in process of gentrification. So the new owner comes into the apartment and says, "Oh, what can we fix? There are things we can do." They basically destroy her bathroom and her kitchen, and says, "Well, there's no budget to fix it. Maybe you should move out for a couple months." And you can kind of see there's a scam going on here. But this movie really is about that relationship between Terry and the mother, and it's kind of this idea of this is a very loving family, but they're very dysfunctional. And then also in the background, there's this specter that Terry was kidnapped when he was a kid from the foster care system by his mother, and they're living with that kind of specter hanging over it. This is another one where it's not for everybody. I mean, I found it fascinating in the sense of I like movies about people, about the human condition, and and we're pushing people to their limits and to see where they end up in the end. And this is one of those movies. The most fascinating thing about this movie is you think it's woke, but it's not. And I'll say it this way. Everything bad that happens to Terry and to Inez, it wasn't caused by white people. It was caused by the decisions they made and the needs, the decisions she made back in the past from her being in prison to the point of her kidnapping her son. Everything that happens to them is kind of brought upon by these decisions. It is set in the backdrop of like 90s, 2000s New York. And so, this is the time where Giuliani's stop and frisk was a big thing. They mention it, but it's really not a part of the story. So again, this is just really a story about this dysfunctional family dynamic, and very much a drama. And if any of this, I would always say, if any of this sounds interesting to you, you might want to give it a shot. I have mixed feelings about the ending. And so that's why I give it, I'm not sure I can necessarily recommend it, but it's really walking that line because I do like this interaction between this family because it's something I haven't seen in a long time. And again, it's no fault of white people.
Well, that's refreshing to hear, Alan. This movie I know was at Sundance. Do we already have a review of it on the website?
No. If it was at Sundance, I wonder if we do.
If it was at Sundance, that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
but,
let me check.
It looks like also a movie that could be Oscar worthy. It's one of those like we don't have a review.
No, I don't think it's Oscar worthy.
Oh, you don't think so? Okay.
We do have a review, in fact.